welcome back to my channel, Keeping Your Heart, a place where we explore ways to keep our hearts open and engaged as we walk alongside people. Hey, if you've not been here before or you haven't subscribed, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the little bell that will give you notifications when I'm uploading a new video. So we're in the middle of this new series about bullet journaling and unpacking that. I've had a lot of requests for more information. So one of the pages in my monthly spread is based on the work that I do in a workbook called Your Best Year 2018 by Lisa Jacobs. So I wanted to walk you through that process just a little bit to explain how it is that I collect that information and apply that in my planning and in my bullet journal. So alright, so let's get into this review of where I'm at with Your Best Year 2018. This is a workbook and planner and strategy manual by Lisa Jacobs. This is the Life Edition. She started out with an entrepreneurial YouTube, social media, business model version of this first. Ironically, I got this to plan my life and got to here on YouTube because of going through this. So I'm going to stick with this Life Edition for now, and maybe next year we'll see what I end up doing. So this is a workbook that takes you through a bunch of really important questions about how you're spending your time, what's getting in the way, what are your goals, what are your dreams. I worked through that and ended up setting myself some goals, one of which is this channel here. So I'm going to go into where we're at in this planner right now, and we are at a quarter review. So then in the quarter review, you come back and look at your annual strategy that you set up earlier. So I started this at the first quarter, or during the second quarter of the year. So here's my annual strategy, and here are my objectives and my goals. And then this is where I said, okay, this is the vision for the year. What is it that I need to do? And what do I need to set up to get there? So then you reassess this every 3 months, which is great because sometimes things change and you need to be able to be flexible and make sure that the goals that you had are actually achievable and something that is life-giving and not an objective that you just have to make. I think that there's a mistake that we can make with that sometimes, where we would say, if we can make this objective, that gives us value or worth, but it's a lot of what's happening in the journey, and so allowing space for those things to change. So here we are at the quarter review, the annual strategy, where you update from what you have recorded and your previous annual strategy, and then add the next few months here. So I would be adding April, May, and June for 2019. Look at that, I can't believe that we are that close to 2019. And so in here, it's noting the things, the seasons of life, the things that may be calling for your attention in different areas, and then your annual objectives, which is comes from that annual plan, where you're looking at what are your financial, spiritual, mental, and relational goals. So that's from here. So I revised that just to make sure that I am really looking at the right things for me. And then my personal annual goals. What are the things that are the most important? And I like that there's only 6. So you can only have these things to focus on. So you can stay on mission. What are the things that you need to do? So once you do that, you go into your quarter 3 rapid log. This is like a brain dump in the brain journal, where you're just recording things off the top of your head. What are outstanding things I need to pay attention to, things I've had thoughts about, that I haven't really formulated, but I wanted to capture that in this space. So that's where that rapid log is. And then here's a progress log that says, okay, guess what I did last quarter? This is great. This is what I need to do now. Here's where I can celebrate the things that have happened, what I need to learn, and what things I actually need to go ahead and start. And then for the month of July, we get into the monthly planning. So in the monthly planning, this is where we mark down all the different things that are occurring in the month, and what things are open, what do we need to celebrate that we have finished, and what other things are new in our tasks from the last month. So being able to have a calendar view. I actually really like to start my weeks on Monday, but so sometimes when I'm translating from this to my bullet journal, it gets a little wonky, but that's okay. And then my July focus. So taking that annual focus and saying for the month of July, these are the things that I want to focus on. This is what I think is really important for me to look at in my objectives. And then how do I break that down into weekly tasks? So this is really helpful. So this page here and some of this is what I add to my bullet journal every month as a focus. What are my focuses? How am I going to get there? And then I really like this question of what's it going to take for this to feel like a success, so that I can really take a view of am I trying to set myself up for success or for failure? I want to set myself up for success. So what does that look like? What would it take for me to feel like that? And then what things are holding me back? And if I screw up something, because I'm totally going to, and falling behind on my goals, what am I going to do to get back on track? And I like this because there's grace in this that says things come up, or maybe we didn't have the right plan to get there. We thought we did, but we didn't realize what some of the issues that were going to be in the way are. And so this is, to me, just a great way of staying focused and understanding that things change. So how do we adjust? So making a plan of how are we going to adjust, because life happens. I think sometimes the reason that we give up on goals and planning is because we get really rigid in our viewpoints and saying that things have to reach a certain point. So I really appreciate this kind of, can I look at my whole life of the things that I need to do and set myself up for success? And my success may not look like achieving objectives. My success may look like, hey, I had a calm month. Hey, I was able to connect with 10 of my friends at different times and have these really deep and important conversations that were refreshing and life-giving for me. Hey, I got to have this wonderful family activity and feel more connected to my family. So it's not a, hey, I got 10,000 viewers on this one video, or I was able to clean up the garage. Although if we were able to clean up the garage, it would be almost everything. But we just really want to take a look at like what is going to be successful, so that we can feel mastery, we can feel successful, and we can feel like that we are being thoughtful and good stewards of the time that we are given. There's one more part of this. It's a weekly review that asks you what you achieved, what helped you to achieve those things, what got in your way, and what you need to change for next week. And then it gives you a daily scorecard. So I bet this tool is great for a lot of people. I don't do well coming back to this every week. I think I do this own version of it in my bullet journal automatically. So this is what would June look like. Look at that. Didn't do it. It just doesn't, that type of thing doesn't work for me in this format. I ended up just doing it in my bullet journal. So if this is something where it helps you for accountability, and I'll probably try it again, but right now this is not the one for me. But it's a great tool for if you don't automatically do this somewhere else. This is a great tool for you to do that. Really assessing, giving yourself honest feedback, figuring out what it is that you need to change. That is fantastic. So there it is. There is the walkthrough of where I'm at, and so when you see in my plan with me for the month, and I have these things in it, this is where the work happens first before it happens in my journal. Or an organizational or planning tool that has been helpful for you for setting goals and planning strategy, please feel free to link that in the comments below. Let me know what that is. I'd love to hear from you, or if you have any questions about my experience with the Lisa Jacobs book. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to check out this playlist of other bullet journaling videos from our series, and I hope to see you the next time. Bye.